MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet. Get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Welcome along, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I'm in Newcastle upon Tyne, northeast corner of England. It's very wet. It's rained all day, but I think a lot of you have had worse weather problems than me. So good luck with everyone if you're down that side where all the trouble's going on. Today is September the 28th, Wednesday, and we are here to look at the slate of games with any playoff relevance for Thursday, September the 29th. And for the first time this week, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Dylan Rockford. Dylan, what's happening?
What's going on, Malcolm? Good to be back with you. Short game of slates for tomorrow, but I'm chilling in the pigs room.
Well, yeah, we just before we joined, out of absolutely nowhere, Dylan started telling me this story about the pig, the pet pig that his sister bought that then lived with the family for 7 years and grew into a massive pig. And I honestly couldn't tell if he'd been drinking really heavily, if he'd taken something that I didn't know whether to call 911 and say there's a man gone mental down in his basement somewhere. Because it was totally out of the blue, but it was evidently all true about the pig.
Yeah, pig, 7 years, grew up with him in high school, had his own room, domesticated. And yeah, you thought it was weird. Try going to school and telling everyone, hey, everyone has dogs and cats or fish for animals. I got a pet pig. He grew out to be a boar, but I love the guy. He was a good guy.
He grew to be a boar. Yeah, because you said he accidentally knocked up another pig, and then you proudly exclaimed that you became a grandfather as well. So, yeah.
They grow up quick.
They grow up quick, don't they?
Yeah.
They grow up quick. That was a really weird start of the conversation, mate. Anyway, welcome. We have the landscape of MLB playoff berths is getting narrower and narrower. We had two teams clinch last night. Dylan, one which wasn't really a surprise, the New York Yankees, although they wobbled a lot for the second part of the season. And the other team that clinched with the Cards, and I think Noah's been tweeting out this afternoon that we can pat ourselves on the back because there was a huge team ride on the Cardinals when we broke down a lot of the divisional races during the All-Star break.
Yeah, I think we all took the Cardinals to win the NL Central, so good on us. I think we gave it out at a really good price as well. I know Moonoff was showing his tickets that he cashed, so did Noah. So congrats to everyone who followed. But I got to ask you, how do you feel about people clinching playoff berths instead of division? Do you like how some teams will overreact or how some teams just nonchalantly go about their business? Because, job's not finished.
It's weird, isn't it? It depends on the team, because there was a stark contrast last week between the Mets, who clinched early in the week and had a bit of a party. And then I think the Braves clinched a playoff berth maybe 2 nights later. And it was just business as usual. They were all business. I think it depends on the team. If you were the Dodgers or the Yankees or someone who it's kind of, say it was like, if I compare it to the EPL, if it was Manchester City or Liverpool and they clinch a Champions League spot, then that's fair enough. They don't celebrate that. If it was if it was a team, for like example, Newcastle, if it was a team who was slated to finish mid-table and all of a sudden they have a great season and finish 4th, then yeah, absolutely celebrate. So that would be the way I would look at it. I think it would be weird if the Dodgers had a wild party for clinching a playoff spot when they're 27 games clear of the nearest challengers. But for someone like the Guardians, they weren't expected. But that would be my reading of it. But yeah, I mean, you can get a bit prickly about people having fun, and that's why we're here at the end of the day. It's sport and it's fun, isn't it? Dryden is in the chat. Hello, Dryden. We've had a search party out for you the last week or so. Dryden's been nowhere to be seen. I've been worried sick, Dryden. So I'm glad to see you back. Go Beavers, I remembered. Go Beavers, my college knowledge, that unintentionally rhymed. Yeah, not on purpose. My college knowledge is improving week on week. I got a Gators right last night. I gambled and guessed on the Gators, and I was right, talking to Noah about something or other. Oh, Dryden's telling us he's been worked. Dryden does a proper job as well.
Yeah.
If I told you what Dryden did for a living, you probably wouldn't believe me. He's got a proper grown-ups job. He's not just fucking about like us, Dylan. So there you go. So yeah, tomorrow I reckon we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 5 games with playoff implications. The Mets and the Braves have a day off. Briefly, before we get into this, just give us your reading or your feelings as a fan on how the Mets are going at the moment.
I think it's going to be really disappointing if we don't win the division after having the lead that we did for as long as we did. And yeah, the Braves are a really good team, but we need to win that. I don't think it sets up well going through the wild card as the Mets having to play San Diego or Philadelphia. We need that bye. I don't know. I just think that we've come so far, and to collapse, losing to the Marlins like we did last night, getting swept by the Cubs, we're just kicking ourselves in the ass. That's what we're doing. The schedule came out for us, and it came out perfectly, and it was going to come down to if we took care of business against the bad teams, we could have afforded to lose 2 or 3 from the Braves. You know what I mean? And now with Hurricane Ian coming about, I don't know what's going to happen. Major League Baseball hasn't really prepared for anything. So I thought maybe they could get a doubleheader in maybe on Friday or something, get these games going a little bit, because they can't move the playoffs, So the season's going to end regardless. So I don't know. I think it's a must win. We got to win the game tonight against the Marlins, and then we have an off day tomorrow, but we need to win 2 or 3 from the Braves.
And that's this weekend, that series, yeah? 3-game series.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing that it comes down to that. I must admit, the weather thing just hasn't come on my radar. I've seen a few clips. I know there's concerns, but apart from that, it's such a long way away, and it hasn't really been on our news much. So I hope that everybody is safe, all our listeners, and obviously everybody else as well. But yeah, interesting to see what happens with the football and the baseball at the weekend. But yeah, that's probably for someone else to sort out rather than myself and you, Dylan. So yeah, no Mets or Braves, but we've got some games that we can have a look at. And there's a couple of bottom draw games as well. The leans that are like, I know Noah's been rooting around in the bottom draw of MLB this week, but I had a little look in there tonight to see what I could fetch out.
Yeah, I haven't been on in a week, Malcolm. How have you been? Because quietly, I was on a 9-0 run during the weekend, and then I played 4 games yesterday. So I won. Lock and dog I hit. So 11-2 in my last 13. So I'm riding high. I think regression might be coming.
Yeah, well, I've been called as a witch's tit, Dylan. On that graphic, that graphic is my absolute kryptonite, because what it did, I have no idea, mate. It convinced me that I'd been absolutely terrible, because even when you make so many picks, it's hard to even remember what you've picked in MLB a lot of the time, innit? 100%. And I don't bet them all. I bet maybe 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 or something. And the graphic had gone so wrong, I just assumed I'd been absolutely awful. Check tally site with the numbers, and I'd been fine. I was actually second on the rankings list.
Nice.
Had the second highest return on investment. But just for that graphic, would just be going 0-2 so repeatedly, or it seems like so repeatedly. And then everyone laughed on Sunday night when we put up or Monday, I think it was, when everybody put up the Orioles against the Red Sox.
Oh, and they won.
Yeah, and I put up the Red Sox. And like I said, I had Noah and Munaf on the show last night, and I sort of went upstairs. The game started 11:30 my time. So I went upstairs, thought, that's right, I'll go and brush my teeth. I'll have a wee. I'll get into bed. I'll listen to a little bit of baseball. By the time I'd brushed my teeth and had a wee, it was like 4-0 Baltimore in like the top of the first. Cedric Mullins had gone yard. Everyone else, there was a 3-run triple. And I was like, 90s, all I've done is brush my teeth. And my bet's gone tits up already. So actually, I haven't been going along as bad as I made myself feel. But yeah, we still need to pick a couple of winners. But I can't get that graphic right for the life of me. Any lines that we give you tonight are coming from our headline sponsor at WinBet. The perfect time to join is right now. New customers will get $100 free bet when they bet $100. If you live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia, WinBet is live in those states. Loads to choose from. head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Promoguide.us is a great place to go if you're interested in plus EV betting strategies. And there's a VIP Discord group. Promo Guy will look at odds boosts, cash bonuses from all the major books as well. They'll give you which team's probable to win, but also the best odds and how to track down constantly changing promotions. So it's a really, really good tool. It's beautifully run as well. Small team of passionate sports fans. Promoguide.us. Check out the 100% track, transparent, and proven method for betting smarter. That is promoguide.us. So, Dylan, we will start tomorrow with. I need to get on the right page. I'm looking at today's games at the moment. So there's some afternoon games, but the first three are all dog shit. The 2:20 game. There's one afternoon game that is of relevance here, which is the Philadelphia Phillies and the Chicago Cubs. Ranger Suarez, left-handed pitcher for Philly, and Javier Assad will go for the Chicago Cubs. I've only got money lines for this one. There's no totals. Obviously, the usual Wrigley Field weather caveats are in place. Philadelphia are -184. The Cubs are +155. This is one of those days. Tomorrow's one of these cards because I've handicapped these games all week. Is I feel like I've handicapped the series repeatedly. So when I turn my page over, my previous page, I've got Philly and the Cubs and Oliver Wesneski. I've got Philly and the Cubs, which was Wheeler against Stroman. So I've kind of handicapped the series and the trends to death this season. Ranger Suarez, 10-5 on the year, 3.38 ERA, 146 and 1/3 with 122 Ks. And Javier Assad has a 1-2 record, 4.28 ERA, has pitched 27 and 1/3 with 23 strikeouts. Philly did a job on me in the Tuesday night games. Did you not lock them up as well, Dylan, on the run line, or was that maybe Noah?
No, Noah and you were on the same dog, but I actually took Marcus Stroman in the Cubs and they won.
Oh, okay, smart ass. No one likes to show off, Dylan. Yeah, they did a proper job on me last night, so it'd be interesting to see what happens in the Wednesday night game, which tees off in round about an hour, because I quite like Hayden Wesneski, who's going. But Suarez bounced back from a few average starts, I would say, not bad starts. But in his last two games, he's faced Atlanta in both of those games. He's only given up one earned run in 12 innings. So I think he should go okay. You need some run support. Obviously, Zach Wheeler pitched well last night, but didn't get any run support. So the Phillies bats will have to liven up a bit. And I actually think they probably will. The fact that they didn't score many runs on Tuesday night leads me to believe there's a few runs left in them for the Wednesday and Thursday games. Assad has 6 games started. He's only got one good start, really, since he came up when he joined this rotation. The Cubs had their win on Tuesday night. I went with the under last night just because I liked Wesneski for the Wednesday night game. I'm going to have to go back to the Philly run line again. Kind of for the same reasons that I handicapped this game very, very similar on Tuesday evening. So I think the Cubs are poor at home. Like I say, Assad, we kind of worked out now what he's going to give us. And I like Ranger Suarez as well. So most of the ticks were in the boxes that led me towards the Philadelphia Phillies on the run line. Got no line on it. Like I say, we're waiting for a weather report in Chicago, but I'll take the Phillies again, Dylan.
Yeah, real quick, weather support. It's going to be a cold night in Chicago, about 58 degrees, wind blowing in around 6-7 miles an hour, so not too hard. But yeah, my lean for here, I got to go with the home puppy again, Malcolm. I only made the Phillies a -155 favorite with Ranger Suarez on the mound. I just can't back the Phillies right now. Those they've lost 3 in a row, and yeah, 2 of them were against the Braves, a really good team. But the Cubs, they've won the last 4 meetings between the Phillies, so I just think they have their number. Cold night, I don't really trust Ranger Suarez. So at +160, I was able to get. I think there's value on the Cubs, so give me the home pup.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I'm chasing black when the wheel keeps coming up red here, and I think you're probably doing the right thing. But like I say, my handicap hasn't really changed all week, so I'm kind of chasing how I read it on Tuesday when I first came to look at this series. We'll move on to a 6:10 Eastern first pitch between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Cleveland Guardians. Left-handed pitcher Jeffrey Springs goes for Tampa Bay, and Cal Quantrill is on the bump for Cleveland. The prices are, it's a pick'em, minus 110 each of two. Total is set at 7. Dylan, who do you like here?
Yeah, Mal, I feel like everyone knows where I'm going with this one. Give me my boy Cal Quantrill and the Guardians on the money line. Game is, like you said, priced around a pick'em, but I made the Guardians a minus 135 favorite against the Rays. The Guardians did lose the opening game of this series last night, but it was only by 1 run. I wouldn't worry too much or dive into that. They're still 8-2 in their last 10. The Guardians are now 14-1 in Cal Quantrill's last 15 starts. I don't know what it is about the guy when he's on the mound, but the Guardians just always back him and give him run support. So I feel like we just got to continue to ride this trend. They don't seem to lose when this guy's on the mound. I've seen Springs against the Guardians lineup, and he only lasted 5 innings. They lost the game 4-1. They're just one of the hottest teams right now, the Guardians. I think our boy continues to cash for us. So give me the Guardians on the money line.
Yeah, I knew you'd be taking Cal Quantrill. Yeah, that was part of the reason we kind of gave you the game in the first place to look at. This was a bit of a weird spot for Cleveland because obviously they clinched at the weekend. Last night was their homecoming. Expected them to go well, and they didn't actually play badly. They just got touched off in a really tight 1-run game, which is fair enough and can happen. These two teams are operating at very similar levels, actually. And I do like Jeffrey Springs. It's been no secret this season that Springs has gone okay. I lean towards the under here. Dylan, what did you make your run line?
Total, for my total, I made it a 7.8. I think we could see some runs. Yeah. I think we could see some runs because Springs has let up a few runs on the road. And Kyle Quantrill, for as good as he has been, he does give up some runs.
Yeah, I know we've talked a couple of times this week that the Guardians don't look like the sort of team who are going to take their foot off the pedal, but I just think there might just be a little bit of natural, just an outpouring, like a big release of breath that they finally got over the line. And the standards won't dip, but I think maybe just that level of performance might just dip just a little bit. But yeah, and I do like both pitches here, so not so much a pitching duel, just a low-key game, I think, here. Tampa Bay are fairly comfortable in the wild card space. So not urgent. It's sort of must win for them. So I thought a fairly low-key event here. And the under 7 was my reading of it. 7:40 Eastern first pitch here is the Miami Marlins and the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, it's a bit of a weird situation here because I've got both pitchers who I think are going. You agreed with me. MLB.com are both teams TBD, and I've got no lines on this whatsoever. So I can give you a limited handicap on that. I think it's going to be Braxton Garrett for Miami against Eric Lauer for the Brewers. And Dylan, I know you thought similar. Mm-hmm. Braxton Garrett, 3-6 on the year, 3.52 ERA, 79 1/3 with 81 Ks. And Lauer is 10-7 with a 3.96 ERA. 147 2/3 with 141 strikeouts. Braxton Garrett's been decent. He's had 3 really good starts in a row. Miami have won 2 of those. However, there's some 2 contrasting things here when I handicap this. It kind of jumped off the page. Those 3 starts, in which he's been good, have all been at home. His road ERA is 4.40, so he's kind of a full point worse off on the road. So those last 3 have been at home, and he goes on the road again here. Eric Lauer has been struggling, 6.14 in his last 5 starts. Now, his last 2 starts, Dylan, have both gone 2 2/3. So I don't know if he's feeling something or if he's just been hit out the game. Both won. Now, in contrast to Garrett, all 3 of Lauer's starts have been on the road, and he's much better at home. So you don't know whether to take the recency of both pitchers, i.e. Garrett's been good and Lauer hasn't, or do you take the fact that Garrett's worse on the road and Lauer's much better at home? This just feels like a nothing game to me. It's a travel spot for Miami. They're coming out of New York, heading down to Milwaukee. And yeah, this was a hope more than anything. I think I feel better about Eric Lauer at home than I feel about Braxton Garrett on the road. I mean, it's just it's really hard. It's an ugly game. I wouldn't be handicapping it. I probably won't be having a bet at all. Certainly not a big one. Lean towards the under. And I think the Brewers will probably win. But then again, they're going to be a short price as well. So quite an ugly one this, Dylan. Did you have any inspiration?
Yeah, very ugly game. I probably won't have action on it, but if Braxton Garrett and Eric Lauer do go, my lines for the game are Brewers -170, -1.5 is +118. Flip it for the Marlins, +170, +1.5 is -118. As for my total, I made it 6.9. I lean towards the Brewers on the run line and the under. I agree with the unders. So I think hopefully the number comes out around maybe a 7, 7.5. Both teams struggle to score runs right now. And like you said, I know Eric Lauer hasn't been his best, but I just can't trust Braxton Garrett on the road. I trust the Brewers a little more than I do the Marlins. So lean under and Brewers run line for me.
Okay. No has advantage change in the game, offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform. You can play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $250,000 or more in cash. You can download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, and climb the leaderboard to win the big money. You can play in NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, all sorts of contests on there. Check out No House Advantages here and experience daily fantasy sports redefined. It's not just how you play, it's where you play. Sign up with the promo code SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app to get a first deposit match up to $25. Où est le piscine? Oui, un kilo de tomates. That, ladies and gentlemen, was French. If you want to be fluent in another language, just like me, Babbel is the place to do it. Loads of different fun ways of learning this language, whatever your reason. Whether you just want to whether you want to impress a girl, whether you're going traveling, whether you want to talk to the fella down at the pub, learn your new language. All, like I say, all kind of different ways to do it. 10-minute lessons. You can learn the language in as little as 3 weeks. They have podcasts, games, videos, stories, live classes. Babbel has speech recognition technology to help you improve your pronunciation and accent as well. You can get 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/SGP. That's babbel.com/SGP for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. Très bien, I say. Odds Trader as well. A really good place to compare all the odds from major sports books and then the promos and the bonuses that those books are offering. And then once you've got the best value for your money, they will help you use it by giving you player stats, key game stats, injury reports, game day weather, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the all-important bet tracker as well. Go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire to get all of that good stuff. Odds Trader is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. Dylan, are you a foreign language speaker?
No, took Spanish for all of high school and don't really know anything.
I don't know any of it.
Yeah, it's awful.
Okay, fair enough. I won't press you then on that. 9:40 Eastern first pitch. LA Dodgers against the San Diego Padres. Again, completely TBD on MLB.com. This tends to be a Thursday thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the getaway days or the crossover in series, but it doesn't. Anyway, it happens a lot on a Thursday. Both pitches are TBD. Got no lines, obviously, as a result. We reckon it's Andrew Heaney against Sean Manaea, which is a good game, a good matchup, as you'd expect, actually, from Dodgers v. the Padres. So have you got much for this, Dill?
Yeah, no lines, like you said, but I do have Andrew Heaney going for the Dodgers, Sean Manaea going on the bump for the Padres. I made the Dodgers a -150 favorite, -1.5, +120. Flip it for the Padres. And for the total, I made my line 8.2. We do have 5-mile-an-hour winds blowing in, but overall, I think it should be a nice chill night in San Diego. The Padres are still playing to keep that second seed in the wild card hunt, but the Dodgers, I think they're still playing well, in my opinion. I know they locked the division up, but they still play hard every game. So for the most part in this rivalry, I think the Dodgers have owned the Padres. I just really like backing Andrew Heaney on the road. He beat the Padres twice and hasn't allowed more than 4 runs in 2 of those games that he started against the Padres. So like Andrew Heaney in this spot, and I just can't back Sean Manaea. He's lost to the Dodgers in 4 straight games, and they completely rocked him all 4 times. So At when the numbers come out, if we're able to get any sort of plus price, like I said, plus 120 or better, I'll probably be on the Dodgers here, run line.
Yeah, I think if you're picking the Dodgers, we've said this before, if you back the Dodgers, just back them on the run line. The spread is dead when it comes to the LA Dodgers. I've got absolutely nothing on this. I only wrote Andrew Heaney's name next to the LA Dodgers about 20 seconds before we started recording this show. So I'm not even going to offer a mild opinion on that, other than the one I've stated. If you want to pick the Dodgers, pick them on the run line and get the extra value there. One final game then to look at before we hit the bottom draw and see if there's anything in there is the Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners. John Gray is the pitcher for the Texas Rangers, and lefty Marco Gonzalez draws the start for Seattle. We have lines of Texas are plus 109, Seattle are minus 128, and the total is set at 7. Dylan, tight one to handicap this, and the books reflect it.
Yeah, I got the Mariners on the money line, playing it safe, minus 125. It's right on my number at minus 125. I do lean over as well. I made my line 8.2, so I see 7. I see 7s out there. I would hammer the over. I think we got two pitchers who are more than capable of giving up a few runs each. Marco Gonzalez is a tad bit better at home, but his ERA against the Rangers is over a 5. Now, John Gray is kind of similar, where he's better at home, but on the road, he gives up a lot more contact. Gray 0-2 against Seattle with a 6.35 ERA in those 2 starts. He let up 4 or more runs in each of those starts. I like the over. I just trust Marco Gonzalez and the Mariners to get it going. I know they're not playing the best ball right now, but I just trust them a little more in this spot at home. So give me them on the money line as well.
I'm pleased you said that about the total, because when I don't like, something unnerves me about getting my totals so wrong in comparison to yours. So when I gave the Tampa Bay and Cleveland under before, and you completely blew me out the water, okay, because my pick here is the over 7. So I'm pleased that you've pitched up with it with your 8.2. John Gray's just been really inconsistent.
Yeah.
Particularly in his last 4 starts. And Marco Gonzalez is struggling. There's no other way to dress it up. So I found it really hard to pick a side here, which led me to the total. And I think I was really pleased when I saw this 7. I thought this could be 7.5 or an 8. So I will absolutely take the over 7 in this situation. So that's everything that's playoff kind of relevant. In terms of the other games, Dylan, what we are terming the bottom draw, there's quite a few to choose from. Are there any pitches or games, totals, anything that caught your eye from what's going on around the murkier depths of MLB?
Yeah, so that White Sox Twin games, I have no interest in playing that game. They're both bad teams right now. I have no interest. I have another dog. I lean Orioles against the Red Sox. I don't think the Red Sox are good at all. Between the A's and the Angels, no implications there. And you got Shohei and Cole Irving. So 2 good pitchers. I lean under 7. I made my total 6.4. And another one I really like, the other game, Rockies and Giants. Giants run line is plus money. Got to back Carlos Rodon here at home. Rockies have lost 4 of their last 5. So plus money on the run line at home. Giants, I'll probably take that as well.
That Giants run line looks an excellent bet. I mean, this is it's their best pitcher at home against Ryan Feltner. Yeah. You're getting a better team with a better pitcher, and you expect him to be more than 1 run better there. That's a great spot, me. The Red Sox one is a bit weird because Nathan Eovaldi's back from the IL. So you don't really know what to expect. I'd love to fade the White Sox, but if there was any team that I don't really want to fade them against, it's this horrible Twins team as well, especially with the man, is it Louis Varland? What's his name? Yeah, it is Louis Varland going. Just don't know what to expect. So the one that caught my eye, I thought was an excellent price, is Detroit again. We've talked about them. Noah's put them up a few times this week. I think they'd won 3 in a row before last night. I can't remember what they did last night off the top of my head. I'm trying to load the standings up here. But Erod is going
Detroit, for... they won 4 in a row. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. So, 4 on the spin. Eduardo Rodriguez is going and taking on one of these pitchers, Jonathan Heasley. Was very much in that. And he's the other one. I was trying to think of his name last week because he is very much in the Annabelle Sanchez envelope, is that I am single-handedly resurrecting his career by fading him every week. And ever since I've started doing that, he's fucking pitched like Sandy Koufax. We can't, it's unsustainable. So he's going to go to shit again tomorrow in Erod and the Tigers. And that was minus 115. I thought that was a really nice price. So, yeah, even though we're concentrating on the big games, there are some other stuff to be found.
Yeah, I lean the Tigers as well. I made the Tigers a minus 140 favorite. Like you said, I think they've just been playing better ball. 7-10 in their last 3, won 4 straight. And I like Erod's recent form. I don't trust Hensley on the road. So I would agree. I would lean the Tigers here at home. I think it's a short price.
Yeah, absolutely. Captain Insano has turned up in the chat for the dying embers of this show. Aye, Captain. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, so lock and dog picks to come momentarily after I've told you about the Elias Game Plan app, the app which will absolutely help you out, whether you're picking your fantasy lineup, whether you're making a bet, or whether you just want to talk a bit of top quality sport with the boys down at the pub. The Elias Game Plan app, you'll know the Elias Sports Bureau, who are the official statisticians of many of the US pro sports leagues. So you get all the info and insights that you'd expect from a top research team, which the Elias Game Plan is. League validated team and player news stats, head-to-head comparisons, expert game analysis, all that sort of thing. The thing to do to elevate your NFL season today is download the Elias Game Plan app. That's ELIAS. And we've got a special offer. Get 15% off your annual subscription only if you use our promo code SGPN15. So find the Elias Game Plan sports betting in the App Store or Play Store. Use the promo code SGPN15. And finally, football fans need to be watching Fubo TV. College, pro football, red zone, everything you need over there, as well as hundreds of live sports and entertainment channels. And no contract, no commitment. Cancel at any time. Try Fubo TV for free. Get 15% off your first month. Just go to FuboTV.com/SGP. That is FUBOTV.com/SGP. Okay, Dylan. I haven't picked any logs or dogs, so you need to make this about 45 seconds at least. Will I get my head around my little notes here? So what have you got, Dylan? I promise I won't copy.
No, it's all good. I was going to go to the Mariners as my lock, but going to switch it up. I'm going to back my boy Cal Quantrill here against the Rays. I know they lost the opening game against the Rays, but I still think the Guardians should be priced a little heavier than the Rays. I think they're the better team. They're playing better right now. The Guardians are 14-1 in Cal Quantrill's last 15 starts. So I like them. And last time Jeffrey Springs went up against the Guardians, he got rocked. So I'm going to take the Guardians as my lock. And for my dog, it was one of your games that you had, and I'll lean the Cubs here again. They won with me a few nights ago. I think they're tremendous value here at plus 160 at home against Ranger Suarez, who doesn't blow the lights off of anyone. They've lost 3 in a row, and 2 of them were against the Cubs. So I'm going to back the Cubs here at home as my dog of the day.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it, Dylan. The Cubs were looked after you last night for the Tuesday game, so we'll have to see. I will go to that Mariners game for my lock, and I like the over here. I'm surprised that we're even considering taking Morgan Gonzalez. I just wouldn't be trusting him at all. I can't trust either pitcher, actually. And I think both offenses have got enough to get us over this number of 7. I did expect that to be at least half a number bigger. But for my dog, Dylan, you have absolutely alerted me to this because it never came on my radar even a little bit. So into the bottom drawer we go and dig out the Colorado Rockies at the San Francisco Giants, where the Giants and Carlos Rodon are plus money on the run line. And that just looks like great spotlight. I'm sort of scratching my head a little bit. Just look at that. So San Francisco are minus 220 on the money line. What price are you seeing on the run line, Dylan? Because I've got nothing here. I've got a total and that's it.
Yeah, so let me check the book real quick. So minus 1.5, I have plus 105, I have plus 102, minus 102. So they're short dogs, but there are some plus prices out there.
Okay, well, I'm going to be brazen enough to take a plus 105 and call it an underdog play. But like I say, I'm a shorn of alternatives there's not much in the way of dogs for me tomorrow. So I will shamelessly take a plus 105 on the San Francisco Giants to beat Colorado by over the spread. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, has got us to the end of the show. Dylan, anything else we need to know before everybody clears off?
Nothing. Hopefully the Mets win, get a game distance from the Braves, and hopefully we stay hot on the diamond. I know things are winding down, but definitely still money to be made.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And I know we can't take our eye off the ball because no sooner will the season finish. I think we get a 24-hour breather and then it's playoff baseball. And we really need to be ready to hit that full tilt. So looking forward to that. Thank you very much, Dylan. That was loads of fun, as always. And thanks for the pig story. I really enjoyed that. That was a highlight of my week so far. Everyone who joined in the live chat, Dryden and Insano, thank you very much. It's nice to have you back. You've both been missing in action, actually. But anyway, nice to have you both back. Everyone who's listened, good luck with all your bets. We appreciate all the support. The usual place for all your SGP and silliness, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Download the app as well. Loads of good stuff over there. Moonaf and all the boys are churning out the content like you would not believe. We'll be back tomorrow to have a look at MLB games for Friday and the weekend. And until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.